Alright guys, how's it going? I'm the Crown Clown, and this is the third and final video of the day. This is What If Deku Was Reptile, Part 3. And, it's currently 4:55 in the morning for me, and I haven't been to sleep yet, so I'm gonna try to make it through this one, and we'll see where we go from there. Anyways, let's start off with a little recap about the action where we left off. So, where we last left off, Deku basically branded Kaminari and told him, "You don't mess with me. You don't mess with my culture. You don't mess with what I believe in. None of that." And Raiden, who was immensely angered, basically told Deku and Fujin that they have no right to keep him out of the Shaolin. And Fujin told Raiden that if it's a fight he wants, it's a fight he'll get. And Raiden said he declares a Mortal Kombat bout with Fujin. So, Fujin accepted, and that's where we pick up our tale today. So, Raiden and Fujin are in the tournament. They're in the ring. The Shaolin are overseeing this. Since it's Raiden's right to be in the Shaolin that's on stake, Fujin is not going to go down without a fight. He doesn't want Raiden anywhere near the Shaolin anymore. Raiden's gone completely insane. His anger, his temperament, all of it. It's too dangerous. As Fujin tells Deku to watch closely, this is how a real Mortal Kombat bout begins, and how to defeat someone who is consumed by hatred and rage. And he will also tell Deku about his true heritage and who his actual father is. Because, just to break story real quick, I'm tired of you guys commenting like, oh, the parents aren't actually required to pass down their quirk. It's not going to be the same thing. Yes, I know that. Like, I made this a plot point for a reason. I mean, yeah, that's my whole thing. Like, I made it a plot point for a reason. So, yes. Anyways, so Raiden readies himself and charges at Fujin as soon as they say, "Round 1, fight." As they march, Fujin is ready as Raiden does the Superman. Fujin counters that with a knee straight to his chin and a kick straight to Raiden's stomach, sending him flying back. As Deku watches, he's impressed with how fluid Fujin's movements are, and how sloppily Raiden just ran into that. As Todoroki says, Lord Raiden is surely just getting warmed up, testing the waters. As Raiden marches in and starts going blow for blow with Fujin, as Fujin is not on the defensive nor offensive, he's just matching Raiden blow for blow. And Fujin gets tired of this as he sweeps Raiden's leg and kicks him straight out of the way. As Raiden's had enough, he's angry. So he shoots lightning at Fujin, and Fujin shoots his wind right back, canceling each other out. And Raiden charges at Fujin again. Fujin spins around and does a back heel kick to Raiden's jaw, breaking it. Spinning around, grabbing his arm and pulling it over Fujin's shoulder, he pulls down on it, breaking Raiden's arm, kicking him behind the knee. As he drops down, Fujin grabs Raiden's head and slams it into the stage. Raiden, having a broken arm and a broken jaw, is in a bad state, but he refuses to give up as he tries to swing. As Fujin just keeps countering him and hits him with the wind and tells Raiden, "Stay down." As Raiden says through a mumbled voice, "Never." as he shoots lightning at Fujin and keeps electrocuting him. Fujin is hurt. When Raiden finally stops, Raiden is going for the kill. He wants a fatality. As Fujin gets back up, he realizes Raiden's trying to kill him. He will not go down so easily. As Fujin stops playing around, teleports behind Raiden, basically picking him up and doing a Bane, breaking Batman's back, but this time Fujin breaks Raiden's back. As Raiden falls down, Fujin doesn't even wait for Raiden to try anything, as he stomps his head into the ground, knocking him out. As Todoroki runs over there saying, "Lord Raiden," as Deku says, "Lord Fujin, I am impressed." As Fujin says, Raiden is lost to us. He has too much darkness in his soul. And Deku says, "Now, about my heritage." As Fujin would say, "Yes, the time has come for you to know the truth about your father. Your biological father. He was a combatant. And, truth be told, the realms have not been destroyed for very long. Everything Raiden told you about that was a lie. He actually was the one who pleaded with the Elder Gods to destroy all other realms for Earthrealm's safety. Little did he know, the evil of Earthrealm was easily expanded and corrupted Earthrealm itself." As Deku says, "Who is my father then?" As Fujin takes a deep breath and says, "Your father is actually Reptile, the same person who you claim to have your name as, is your biological father." As Deku's just like, "Is that why?" And Fujin says, "Yes, that is why. You have scales for your skin, but they don't show so much. It's because your mother's DNA, that is actually what saves you from being fully reptilian. And honestly, it diluted Reptile's powers quite a bit. So you won't change into a giant lizard. You'll keep your humanity, but you will have to deal with scaly skin from now on." As Deku says, "That's fine. I don't care. And thank you for telling me my heritage." As Bakugo says, "So what happened to Reptile?" And Fujin says, "To be honest, he's still alive, running around. He's here on Earthrealm. He hasn't caused any trouble for anyone, but he is still working with the forces of evil. He doesn't even know he has his own son here." As Deku says, "How can he survive for all these years?" As Fujin says, "Well, he was actually in stasis for a long time, and he was brought out during the destruction of the realms. He was sent to Earthrealm as a last-ditch effort to try and stop the destruction of Outworld. He never made it to the Elder Gods to plead for Outworld survival, and it was destroyed, along with all other life amongst the realms." As Deku says, "So, why did Raiden lie?" He says, "Were those memories that he showed me even real?" Fujin says, "They were real, but they were not the full truth. I do not have the power to show you everything. However, when I do have this confidence in you, I'm sure you'll make the right choice. After all, you are my student. You our Reptile now. As Deku says thank you. As Fujin says, now then, we must prepare for the sports festival. I need to make sure you're ready to win it all. As Asui tells Deku that she won't ever team up with him during the sports festival, as Deku says, why? Asui says that she wants to do things on her own merit. She doesn't want to rely on him to pull her through. She wants to treat him as a rival. As Deku says, very well then, I accept your challenge. And Bakugo says, same here, man. I want to prove to you just how much stronger I've gotten. As Deku says, I can't wait. As Bakugo says, Master Scorpion, shall we begin? As Scorpion says, yes, let us go. As Scorpion teleports them out of there. So the only time that they ever see each other is at school, as Todoroki is trained by Raiden after he's healed. And Raiden gives up his claim on the Shaolin forever. But as the weeks go, as everything leads up to the sports festival, Deku's ready. As him, Asui, Bakugo, and Todoroki are all in the changing room waiting to be brought down and to start the sports festival. But earlier that day, of course, Monoma had to strike, and Monoma actually made fun of Deku a lot for having a reptilian skin, but Setsuna actually kind of flirted with him a little bit, saying that she liked how his skin looked and asked what his hero name was going to be. And when he said Reptile, she kind of just said, here's my number. If you ever want to hook up sometime, call me. Asui, being kind of jealous, butts in and says, no thanks. He's got other things to worry about. And pulls him into the classroom. As Monoma's just like, huh? And Bakugo says, you with the big mouth. Keep talking shit, and you're gonna learn just what this class is made of. And Shinzo actually tries to say the same shit that he does as in canon, but Todoroki shuts him down, saying, we're not bullying anybody. You guys are blocking our own path, as well as trying to talk down to us. So, I suggest you put your money where your mouth is and don't be too much of a disappointment, or you'll be frozen over. As he walks into the class, Shinzo, feeling the intimidation and bloodlust from Todoroki, as well as the intensity from Bakugo and from Deku and Asui, seeing as though that was the difference between the hero course and the general studies. As he kind of just hangs his head down and walks back, thinking, there's nothing I can do to catch up to them, is there? But he's not going to give up. As they wait, as they're called out, Deku, Asui, Bakugo, Todoroki all walk out together, with Deku in the lead, as Asui and Bakugo close behind him and Todoroki at Bakugo's side. Being rivals themselves from rival clans, they are ready to engage in this sports festival, and if it ever comes down to it, to a fight, they were willing to all engage in mortal combat. And, well, Midnight explains the rules for the first one, as Bakugo's actually about to show off something that is new. And as soon as Midnight says, begin, Bakugo teleports straight to the, finish line, as Deku just starts running, and Asui's not far behind him because she's a lot faster in this. Like Deku and Asui from their training, like they're extremely fast, and Todoroki decides to kind of do something similar to Bakugo as he falls back and goes through his ice and pops out at the arena at the finish line, and everyone's just like, they can teleport? As Todoroki says, you can teleport too? And Bakugo says, sure can. Scorpion taught me. As Deku rushes in there not far after them, and Asui follows. So Deku gets third in this, and Asui gets fourth. Bakugo gets first and has the 10 million point bounty put on him. And Todoroki, not really wanting to lose, is in second place. So for this, I'm actually going to say they have their canon teams. Only difference is that Asui and Deku are out for not Bakugo or Todoroki, but they're out for everyone else. Like, Deku's goal is to take out as many support corps people as possible. And Hatsumi not really feeling kind of any type of way about that. She's just like, okay, whatever. As long as she shines bright, she really doesn't care. So, with that, it begins with the cavalry battles. And Deku honestly eliminates all the fucking support corps. Like, they're gone. And Asui nearly eliminates everyone from general studies, and Todoroki almost eliminates all of class 1B. So basically, the only people that are moving on is the canon ones. So yeah. And the fights, well, they go down kind of similar, but not really. So the Todoroki fight, for one, that's going to be a big difference. See, because, well, he's not going to lose control and just flash freeze Sero to, well, not Sero, but Seto. I think that was his name, Tape Guy, whatever his name is. But basically, he doesn't flash freeze him to hell. All he does is just cover him in a thin coat of ice and say, it's done. As they're just like, whoa, he didn't even move, and he covered him in ice. As they look down and see that his foot was all he needed. And they're just like, this kid's got potential. And for Bakugo, he's kind of just like, you know, I'm ready. As his fight steps up. And I think it was Uraraka at this point. Which, yeah, Uraraka, no. She does not stand a chance. Bakugo ends the fight a lot earlier now that he can teleport, because all he does is just teleport behind her, grab her, and throw her out of the ring. Uraraka is embarrassed. As for Deku versus Shinzo, that fight is actually very different. And this one is where it starts to get good. As Shinzo tries to berate Deku and say, with your reptilian skin, you're more like a freak of nature than anything. And Deku's wanting to say something to him, but he doesn't. Instead, he just goes straight for it. Fujin's taught him not to lose control and blurt out things in anger. So that's the only reason why Deku's not actually yelling at fucking, yeah. So Shinzo's just like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? He's either a mute or the most well-composed person on the planet. So Shinzo tries to box with Deku. Deku sees this and is just like, oh, I gotta do it to you now. As he just yells up there, bring me the shovel. Shinzo's just like, the shovel? Minet's like, the shovel? And Asui says, "Here," as Deku catches and says, "Yes, the shovel." As he sticks it down in the ground and says, "It's gonna stay right there. I won't use it as a weapon." Midnight's just like, "Well, what's it for?" Deku says, "You'll see." As he goes invisible and beats Shinzo's ass. Like, he literally just starts beating that man. He kicks him in the leg and the stomach, slams his head to the ground. He breaks his arm. Like, Shinzo just gets done dirty. As Midnight says, "The winner, Izuku Midoriya." And that's when Deku picks up the shovel as he marks out a right size for a coffin. He starts digging, and Midnight's like, "What are you doing?" As Deku says, "Digging his grave." Midnight just says, "What?" Deku's like, "He tried me." He gets buried. As he digs a 6-foot hole in no time and just throws Shinzo in it. As everyone's just watching him bury Shinzo. As he starts to throw dirt on Shinzo, as Shinzo is actually just saying, "Wait, I'm not dead," and Deku just says, "Shut the fuck up, yes you are." And Midnight actually steps in and says, "You can't bury him alive." As Deku says, "Fine," as he takes the shovel with him and walks right on out. And yeah, Asui's fight is actually, because yes, Asui made it because swapping her out for Tetsu. So yeah, deal with that. And Asui fights Kirishima. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. As Kirishima is against really fighting a girl, Asui says, "You're sweet, but I'm gonna kick your ass." As she just completely uses her martial arts ability to destroy Kirishima. Like, she doesn't even have to hit him that hard, just disrupting his center of gravity, his balance, and just knocks him out of the ring. And Kirishima is extremely embarrassed. And Asui says, "It's better you fought me instead of those other 3. They would have buried you." As Kirishima hears that, he's just even more embarrassed and depressed. He's just like, dang. The other fights go as in canon, and it's back to the second rounds. So, Tokiyami still beats Momo, and Todoroki, he's fighting Deku. This is going to go very differently. As Todoroki says, "What? No shovel?" Deku says, "You're actually going to be a tougher fight. Don't know if I can absolutely just body you." As Todoroki says, "Well, maybe I'll create one for you." As he creates an ice shovel and leaves it in the ground. And everyone sees that, and Deku's just like, "You think I'm that easy? Oh, okay. Now you've done it." Midnight starts the match. Deku goes invisible. And Todoroki, he tries to freeze Deku, but Deku's using his acid. And he's just melting the ice. As Todoroki does that flash freeze, Deku avoids it and just having the acid shield around him and burns straight through all the ice and becomes tangible, visible again, takes Todoroki and slams his head into the ground. And they're going blow for blow. Deku sweeps the leg and spins around and hits him with a poison bubble as it pops, and Todoroki goes flying back. Acid bubble, not poison. And Todoroki's actually burned. He's just like, "That burns." As Deku spits acid at Todoroki, Todoroki kind of just dodges. Setsuna's watching and is going absolutely crazy. She's loving everything she sees from Deku. And Asui just says, "Is there a reason why you're so ready for him or something?" And she's just like, "I mean, he's a reptile. It's kind of my thing, and like, he's hot, so yeah. Like, no homo for that shit, but for real, Setsuna is thirsty for Deku. And Asui's just like, no, 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 no. You're gonna stay away from him. And she's like, why? You like him? And Asui's just like, none of your business. And she keeps trying to test Asui, and Asui just says, do I need to whip out the shovel? And Setsuna says, my bad. As they continue to watch the fight, and Todoroki, he uses his flames. And Endeavor's just like, Shota! Still like that. And, like, basically, Deku's just like, is your old man right in the head? And Todoroki just says, this is literally like my first time meeting this guy in forever. As Deku's just like, huh, go figure. And Todoroki's like, go figure what? And Deku says, crazy dad for a crazy son. As he turns invisible again. Todoroki's like, don't you say that, come out here. As Deku kicks him in the stomach and knees him in the head and just says, okay, deal with it. As he throws Todoroki out of the ring. And Todoroki is eliminated. And Todoroki's embarrassed. As he's just like, this can't be happening. As he just says, well, yes, it just did. Next up, Asui and Bakugo's fight. And this goes very interesting. Because these are the two people that just started their training. So it's time to see whose training has improved more. And honestly, it's a close fight. Bakugo's teleportation gives him the edge. But Asui's maneuverability and agility gives her the edge. And she's able to maneuver Bakugo closer to the edges even though he's using his teleportation. And she can tell when Bakugo's about to teleport because of the reading. As Deku actually said that he could probably tell when Fujin was about to teleport because of the way the air shifted. So Asui's using that same logic and reads Bakugo's teleportation, grabs him and throws him out of the ring, eliminating him. Bakugo is actually surprised with Asui's skills as he says, wow, that's incredible. And she's just like, thank you. So with that, Tokiyami bows out because he's not about to fight Asui and Deku. As Asui and Deku make their way to the ring and they say, Mortal Kombat? And Asui says, Mortal Kombat. So basically, Fujin arrives on the scene and says, if you don't mind, I'll proctor this match. As Midnight says, by all means, I guess? Because Nezu's giving her the look like, yes, let him proctor this match. So, Fujin says, as the simples of the Shaolin, I cannot wait to see how this fight will end. As a master to both of you, I have one last piece of advice to give to you. Do your best and do not give up. And with that, let this Mortal Kombat match begin. As everyone hears the words Mortal Kombat, it goes wide throughout the world. And a certain someone recognizes that word as he's watching, as he sees Deku. And he says, this should be interesting. As Deku rushes right towards Asui and Asui rushes towards him. She jumps over his head and tries to use her tongue. Deku grabs it and throws her. Seeing this how that won't work on him, Deku also spits acid as she barely avoids it without getting burned. And Asui says, "Okay, no using acid, just hand to hand." And Deku says, "Fine." As he starts fighting Asui, as they start matching blow for blow, Deku sweeps the leg, grabs Asui and throws her over his shoulder into the middle of the ring. As the person who's watching the TV while Deku and Asui are fighting is very intrigued. Deku's combat style is identical to his own. And that's when he gets it. "My son. How interesting." As if you couldn't guess, it's Reptile. He's watching Deku on the TV at a bar. A certain bar. As Deku's basically just out fighting Asui. It's close, but Deku has more experience, and he's been holding back. So, he ends up eliminating Asui. And Deku gets first, Asui gets second. And it's a three-way battle again, but Tokoyami bows out again for third place. And with this, Todoroki would win. After losing the first fight, he doesn't want to lose this one. So he wins third place. As Bakugo's kind of embarrassed that he didn't place, he's just like, okay, well, there goes that. And Deku is very happy with this, as Hisashi and Inko are super happy as they're actually there in the stadium this time, cheering him on and seeing his fights and all that he had to overcome. They are very proud of him. As Fujin says, "I am very proud of you both," as he presents the medals to Deku and Asui and to Todoroki, saying, "You did your best, young warrior of the Lin Kuei. I look forward to seeing how well you grow." As Todoroki says, "Thank you, Lord Fujin." And that's actually where I'm going to leave it off for this time, because there's a lot of stuff that's about to happen with the Hosu City deal. So yeah, as always, I've been the Crown Clown, and I'll see you guys again later. Peace.